Hey everyone, welcome back, or welcome, this is your first time. This evening shave is Sample Sunday. That's right, I am recording this on Sunday, but you probably won't see this until Tuesday or later if you don't watch when it's released. Simply to give myself time to, because I shave at night, to give myself time to do all the links and everything in the comments in the description and do the editing, the pop-ups and all that stuff here. So before getting to the shave, I'd like to remind everybody that there will be a giveaway when I hit 500 subscribers. So if you have not already, subscribe and there'll be a giveaway at 500. Now for today's Sample Sunday, I am using a sample of Holy Cow Vor V, I think that's how it's pronounced, that Marion the Barbarian was kind enough to send to me a while back. I just haven't gotten around to using my plethora of samples. So that is here in my Vanulate travel bowl. I put some water on. I use this to load samples if I want to do a face lather. So I have that pressed down in here, and I just loaded the brush with the PAA Peregrino, which is a fantastic synthetic brush, by the way. If you have not tried one, I can highly recommend it. And the brush is going to be the PAA, I think this is called the El Fantasma. Glow-in-the-dark slant with a PAA Platinum Strangelette. Because why not? PAA is a fantastic brand. They're one of my favorites. And the Strangelette is a really good blade. And of course, like with every blade, it depends on what razor in which you're replacing it and all that good stuff. But it's a good blade. I quite enjoy using it. I know some people say it's kind of tuggy. I get that when it comes to certain razors for sure. And I use that in the Timeless. Zero issues in the Timeless. Big shocker there. The Blackbird, not a lot of tugginess in there. Although I did get a little bit when I put that in my Above the Tie Calypso, which is aluminum. So a little bit of tugginess there, but not enough that makes me not want to use the blade in that razor. Getting water dripping down my handle here. All right, so I have, as I mentioned, preloaded, but I did not bowl lather. I think this is really soupy. I may have added too much water to my knot, not squeeze out enough. Because I'm blooping as I'm building. This may be really good lather or really bad lather. We shall see. I've only used this sample once or twice before. I know the first time I used it, I did not load nearly enough. I had to go back to the bowl after my first lather, my first pass. But I also used a natural hair brush. I used a Badger that I don't use very often. Because let's be honest, I don't face lather very often. As is evident by this unholy mess that I'm creating while I'm trying to face lather. This should not reflect Holy Cow as far as the soap, or maybe it will because my face lathering technique is atrocious. And if I can salvage this, I'll just test how good the soap is. Now, Holy Cow is a good soap. I have their iced tea scent, which I quite enjoy. I know not everybody does. It's very, I would say, basil forward or basil heavy, which I know CDB wasn't a fan. A couple of people I have spoken with weren't a fan of that scent. I quite enjoy it. Now that one was sent to me by the razor company, but having having experienced the scent of iced tea, and with that little cooling you get from the soap as well, I would have bought that one. I think I have the Splash Light as well. It's nice, and I don't use it very often, especially now. I mean, every once in a while in winter I do crave a menthol scent, but I'll use other soaps as well, so I need to break out the iced tea more often. But Holy Cow is expensive, so that is the only Holy Cow soap I currently own. I was interested in this soap. Marion sent me the sample. It took me so long to use it, I don't even think it's available anymore, at least not at the razor company. When I looked, I didn't see it. You can see the lather is nicely hydrated. Should be blooping here. It's barely holding on. But it's running down the handle. I'm still trying to figure out the slant razor, the angle, because it's different than the other razors I have. Because sometimes it feels rather toothy, meaning I feel a lot of blade feel and it doesn't feel super comfortable and it feels like it's more scraping than anything. And other times it's cutting, I can hear that cut, but I'm not feeling any blade. So I don't use this razor very often. Again, because I'm mostly a Chevette guy, but this is very nice. Now, I'm assuming if you use this, if I use this more often, I would be able to get the angle right and everything and have it down. But you can probably see all that stubble. And a really good shave last night with one of my IBCs. So this past week was fairly busy at my end. I had to do a mock software demo to my team as part of the onboarding process for my new job. You know, those calls are scheduled for 2 hours. Maybe I should just demonstrate the software. It's in preparation to doing, your own project and everything. So I took a few weeks to prepare for that. And I think so that was on Friday, I did that Friday afternoon, or Friday morning, like almost first thing, just to kind of get it done with on that Friday. Then Thursday, my oldest had junior high registration. And the funny thing is, my oldest is turning 12 this year. I have people I went to high school with that have kids graduated high school 2 years ago. So we went up to the junior high. Now, the town in which we live is where I did most of my growing up. My parents live in the same house that we were in when we first moved to this town. My high school is just up the road from my parents' house. We're on the other end of town. But my two oldest still go to the elementary school that was right by our old house. Long story, boundaries, number of kids in certain schools and everything. So they go to school right by our old house. but they pass like two or three other elementary schools to get to their school. This is weird. I'm not used to this, leaving leather behind on my cross grain and with grain pass. So I was wondering, because my oldest is in 6th grade this year, I wondered what junior high he would go to. If he'd go to one that's just right by my old high school, or if he'd go to the one that's real close. Well, not real close. Or the one that all the kids in the neighborhood and everything go to because of the boundaries. It turns out he's going to that junior high. Which is ironic, because when we first moved in, we moved when I was in 6th grade. So my mom would take me to my elementary school, so I didn't have to transfer schools in the middle of the year. So she'd drive me to a town a couple minutes away, about 15 minutes away, and drive me to the elementary school in 6th grade. And I would take public transit or the bus to get back home. And then when we moved here for junior high, with the boundaries where my parents built their house, even though it's on the other side of the town where we are, the boundaries at that time were to go to this one junior high, which is real close to the south end, even though they're close to they're probably middle to north side of town. Even though the junior high that I ended up going to later on was closer to my house. I went to the one that's just a few miles from here, and it's still a couple miles from my house now. But I'm on the border of the town and the county. And my neighbors across the street that way, their backyard is the county boundary. You know, you go to the next neighbors, their backyard, their backdoor neighbors in different county, different city. So anyway, I went to that junior high for 1 year in 7th grade. And then they built another junior high real close to my house. They built a high school that redid all the boundaries and everything, and I ended up going to the one that's closer to my house anyway, my parents' house. But 2 years ago or so, they demolished my old junior high that I went to for 1 year and rebuilt it. Or built a brand new one, whatever you're gonna call it. So we went to that junior high. So there's a few kids in his class that will be going to this junior high because they live in this area. But the majority of his friends from our old neighborhood, they're in the boundaries of the other school. So they won't meet up again until high school. They'll be in rival schools for junior high. So I went and did that on Thursday. Friday, my really good friend who's a pilot, he is based out of New Orleans. And his airline is a newer airline, does not have any flights out here in the West. So he has an apartment in New Orleans. Because of that, and he's flying on reserve, I mean, he doesn't have a normal schedule. He's just, you need to be available from this time to this time within an hour and a half of the airport at all times during that time, in case we need you, in case a pilot calls in sick or anything. So he's the lowman on totem pole. Out of that city, out of New Orleans, for that airline. He used to be the first officer, and he was the first officer. So he had highest priority for scheduling, and now he's the lowest captain out of New Orleans. So he doesn't go home to Utah very often. But he was home this weekend, so we went and had dinner with him and his family on Friday. right when I finished off work. He's like, hey, I'm done with work. Let's get go. And they live on a old street. So 10-minute drive from here. And Saturday, my dad belongs to an ATV club based out in Salt Lake. And they had a club ride Saturday out in the area called 5 miles past. We're going to a little tiny town called Eureka, have lunch, then drive back. So I did that Friday. Saturday with him, we left at 6:30 in the morning. Went out and rode on designated ATV trails for those that I can already see the nasty comments coming in the comments below. So we stayed on designated trails as much as we could because we hit some snow. People got stuck. Had to find alternate routes. By alternate routes, I mean alternate trails to get there, because luckily it is a trail system. And if you can get to the other part of the trail, you can continue going the route that you wanted. But it was cold. And I put on my thermals, some Carhartt type pants, and then snowmobile pants on top of that. Then I had a long sleeve shirt, then 3 layers for, if you ride snowmobiles or anything, layering up. So I had that going on. And then I had a baklava, which is just, a nice face covering that covered everything but where my glasses are. And because the baklava I have is designed to go into the helmet, and I was in a side-by-side that had a windshield and a roof, which by law I am not required to wear a helmet. I put on a beanie on top of that because I didn't wear a helmet because there's a roll cage, and if I crash, I'm enclosed. It's like a car. But it was cold. But it was a lot of fun. So much fun. Even though a lot of people got stuck, we had to go and help people, take people out, and all that good stuff. I just looked at the restaurant in Eureka, and they just had a great time. The food was really good. The staff was fast getting everything out, so no complaints there. And went back and got in the truck and drove home and just enjoyed it. Had a really good time. By the time you are seeing this, I was off yesterday for me, Monday, which is also really nice. I have another project that I'll be getting the handoff here shortly. I'm busting for you about that on Thursday. That's a really nice shave. So that, if you saw how soupy and goopy that was at the beginning, with holy cow, just a little bit of extra agitation on the face, and you saw it was a really nice lather. So holy cow is a really good soap. They're expensive, so you have to ask yourself, are they worth the cost? That is a question only you can answer for yourself. Would I buy Vor V based on the scent? Probably not. I don't recall the scent notes. It is a good scent, but it is not anything that is mind-blowing to me. But it is nice. I do enjoy it. I'm glad I was able to experience it. The base on Holy Caw is fantastic. Hopefully you didn't get the little pause. I got a little battery notification popping up on my phone. But the bass is fantastic. I can't remember what bass that's in. Really slick. Was able to go from really soupy, I'm face debating, to a nice, thick, creamy lather that was just a joy to use. Rinsed off easily. The PAA El Fantasma glow in the dark slant with the PAA Platinum Strangelette. Great razor, awesome blade. I really enjoy this razor when I get that angle right. I need to use this more often just to understand the best way to use it. The brush was the PAA Peregrino. You're kind of thinking, hey, it's kind of a PAA theme. Well, you know, this year they had 12 years, so I want to use some of their stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So I want to thank everybody again for tuning in, and I'll catch you all next time.